はい、now start Aiki-waza class number 1。はい、Aiki-waza というのは何かと言いますと、大体その小さい力で、相手を倒す、投げるというのが Aiki-waza だと思います。
What Aiki-waza is using only a very small strength and small movement to lock and throw the opponent.
この小さい力というのはちょっと語弊があるんですけども、こっちは体全体を感じて、相手をコントロールする。だから本当は自分の体全体の力を小さい動き、見た目あまり動いてないような感じがするけども、体全体の感覚とか力を使って投げているというのがあります。
I said need to use only a small strength, but in fact, I'm using all my body to really sense and concentrate to perform. So the Aiki-waza looks almost nothing. It doesn't really look much of movement happening, but I'm still the sensing. Sensing is the most important thing for Aiki-waza.
で、今日は、受けの持つ力を逆流させて相手を投げるというAiki-wazaを聞いています。
So today, I want to perform the type of Aiki-waza. So when I'm grabbed, I'll make the strength flow backwards to adjust and lock the opponent. That type of technique I'm going to show it today.
はい、でははい、はい。はい、はい、
Alright, let's start.
まず最初に相手がこうしっかり
So firstly, the opponent grab your hand really hard.
で今僕の方は力を出してないです。
I'm not doing anything at the moment.
で彼が手が触れるぐらいしっかり
So the opponent is really exercising whole strength to grab, concentrating to grab.
で、今度はこっちの方からこの指を使ってこの手首のこの付け根から肘肩を合わせる。
So the first thing I have to do is really adjusting to his strength. So using my fingers, the angle of my wrist, spreading my fingers, then I need to feel my opponent's arm locks up. So there's nothing at the moment. The next, now it's locked. Once you first adjusting and lock up, then second, I change my angle a little bit to rotate the opponent's shoulder. So firstly, you have to really lock up the opponent, arm, shoulder, and therefore whole body. And rotate his shoulder. And when I throw, using my knees. So the lock, starting with the lock, is from the angle of the hand. And then when you throw, before I throw, all the body, the opponent's body has to be locked before. Then I use my knees to throw. Aiki-waza. Aiki-waza really shows almost really not much information from the stage side. So you don't really know what she's actually doing, but next moment it's been thrown. So with a bigger motion like this one's more like judo technique, and you can actually see what's happening. You grab the arm and then putting your own body under the uke and then throw, so you can actually see what's happening. But Aiki-waza, the people who are seeing can't really see what's happening.
相手がこう持ってきた
So opponent grabbed.
相手に力を持ってきた力をぐっと返す
So the
わ
opponent.
かりやすくやると相手の体がそう返してグッとやる
So as you can see, it's now coming in, and then by adjusting, I'm pushing his strength going backwards.
でこの位置から決めた膝を入れたっていうことで投げるのは見た目は何もしてないんだけども相手を持ってた
So that's why it looks almost not much movement happening. There's no big motion needed for Aiki-waza. But there's a principle what's happening in Aiki-waza, and you have to feel it first, sense it how the strength flows back to the opponent. Once it's locked up, then matter of using your knee to throw.
だから、この位置から持たれたところから返す
So you have to feel first, and same thing. Just but locks have to be happening at the beginning.
でこの持たれたところから力を肩に返す
So now I'm returning his strength to his shoulders, both shoulders this time.
でこのままやると僕と彼がぶつかってしまうので体をちょっとずつ変えてみます
But if I don't move, so first lock, and then when I throw, just slightly shifting that locked strength, so the strength doesn't crush to each other.
でだからこう持たれた状態からここからというよりは今度はこっちのこれで入ってくるこの肘からこの肩に
So now, so it's been grabbed. So next moment, I'm just using, I think by,
持たれてる相手が力をぐっと返してきたのをこの手で一回止めてる
so this time using the other hand, what I'm doing is just stopping at that spot where I'm holding by right hand, then just rotating at the same time using your knees, using my knees.
これがこの位置から肩を持つ
And the same principle, the same. Even if you're not grabbed, you can still lock his sort of whole body.
今この状態でちょっとグッと固めてだからこれが相手が取ろうとしたところに力をグッと合わせる
Yes.
この肘から相手がここにかかってくるということになります
So even when you're not grabbed, as soon as I touch, that's where I start locking his body. So it doesn't matter if you're grabbed or not. But then Sensei, but that's what we want to know. What are you actually doing? So when you touch, what's happening? So can you just touch? Oh, no, I'm asking Sensei first. So when you touch his hand, say his elbow, can touch. So touch. And what are you doing actually?
この押してくる力とここ
So
の場所
I'm feeling his strength there, and on that spot.
でこれが同じ相手の力とこっちの力がパチッと噛み合う
So what I feel is my strength and his strength, it's really like locks together. But what are your toes are doing now, or what are your hips are doing, Sensei? 例えばそのかかととかそのかかとっていうかつま先とかはどんな風になってるんですかって聞いたの。
こことこことやっぱりこう
So all, I think, connected together, Sensei is saying. Not only hand, of course. So everything when I lock,
普通に立ってるようだけども合わせた時というのはちょっとかかとが浮いてつま先とつま先でこう入って
I think that's what you have to explain, yes. Maybe it looks I'm just standing, but when I lock the opponent, actually whole my body is working together. As you can see, my toes were changing the motion, and knees and hips, and that all getting into one, more like uniting strength or uniting.
つま先とつま先とこの手と3点で3点になりますよね。
So,
このつま先から来るってことは体重は全部ここに自分の体重が全部グッと乗せて
so
くる。
I feel like from my toes, that's where my strength, sort of power starts, and that goes through my whole body, ending up to where I'm contacting with the opponent, and that's where my whole concentrated strength drops onto.
だからこの動きをするにはやっぱり非力の要素1とかでこの前進の時にこのつま先をこうしっかり
I see.
使える。
Right. So for learning this type of concentration, it's coming from like even say, for instance, from Hiriki no Yosei Ichi movement. When I slide my body forward, I'm feeling my body strength going forward on my front toe. And that kind of sensation, it's the same as when I do Aiki-waza.
これをやると前に出てかかとを上げてみると分かるんだけども
So when you
後ろ足の力が全部ここにグッと入る。
So when I lift my front heel up, you can see how my strength from my back leg heel come through my body and ending onto my toe. So I'm feeling the flow of the strength. And that kind of practice helps performing Aiki-waza.
そしたら横の位置こう受けたらでこの
So-
グッとこう合わせる。
So as you,
このつま先のこの状態に立ってる。
as you can see, at the beginning when I block, when I block, just a block, there's no concentration. But when I throw, you can see if you focus on my toes are changing the motion. And now my whole strength came from the toes through my body and went to the opponent body.
こういう動きをやってくると正面突きで相手しても
So it's the same thing. The attacks themselves do not matter. So just block first, then next using that principle of concentration, and you can throw. It's the same thing.
でこれが最初にやったこの持たれた時にグッと合わせる。で力をギュッと逆流させてあげる。
So
この位置からグッと。
at the beginning, yes, so I'm feeling first. You have to feel first and sense first. And then you have to, at the beginning, you said, Sensei said, feel from where he's grabbed, and then feel his strength going backwards through his elbow, through Uke's elbow, shoulder, and rotate his shoulder, and locks up his whole body. Then Sensei just moves his knees.
で見てもらうとすごい疲れるのが OK。
As you can see, I'm fine, but Uke is extremely hard. Now, Kaido's turn. You could just say what you felt like. How do you feel?
When I grabbed onto Sensei's arm, it felt like all the power was coming back, straight back to my arm. When my arm was bent, as soon as you put that weight, or when it connected my arm, it felt like my whole arm was straight, and then my whole body got stiffened up after that. And then I don't know, when he moved his legs, when he's bent his whole knees, it felt like my whole body weight just goes straight down. So if I don't do ukemi, I'll land on my face. That's what it felt like. Anything else? Really tired? I can't think at the moment.
で、今のこういう流れからと力から向こうに返して この接点から相手がどう
So as soon as you get a contact point,
ここに今コンタクトしたところに相手が
that's where you got to lock up.
触れた瞬間にこの力をキュッとこうこれははい
So as soon as there's a connection,
ただ押すとこれは
so of course when you're just pushing, then there's no lock. His Uke's joints are not locked, all loose. When the joints are all loose, there's no way if you even just to push, there's no slow. Just to push, sensei, just to push, just to push. Then there's, because his body is not locked, only push, then nothing happens to Uke's body. Only when the locks happened,
これは押して
then all the joints are locked.
で次にジョイントロックするっていうのはこれとこれとこれと
But
こうつま先が立って
to make the joint locks happen to Uke's body, that's where your own body have to concentrate through the toes.
こういう押し方でもねこうつま先を
Have to unite only into one, only into one, only into one from the toes and on his
力を一つに持って
connection. It's all sort of unification or concentration, really concentration, more like.
とこんな感じ
Okay, this is the first Aiki-waza class. Hope you learned something.
いやまず興味を持ってねくだされば今日はいいかな
This is very first Aiki-waza class, so I would like you to feel you are interested in learning this, not something beyond, but something that you can actually learn. That's the purpose of Aiki-waza class.
で、この相手技に来るまでにはやっぱり基本動作をやって、基本技をやってたくさんの関節技をやって呼吸投げでタイミング投げそういうのをやりながら
To reach the Aiki-waza level, there's a lot of training need. That's the fact. And you need to do lots of kihon dosa, lots of basic movement, a lot of joint locks. So 1箇所、2箇所、3箇所, all the joint locks, lots of practice. And kokyu throws, so lots of one-timing throwing.
そうすると感覚が磨かれていってどうやれば力が伝わるかっていうのは体が分かる
By practicing all these basics so many times, your body start accumulating lots of information about timing and locks. And that's why you can start sensing.
はいじゃあ今日はこういう形ですね
Okay, today we're going to finish this Aiki-waza class for the first time. Thank you very much, everyone.
はい、おっす